my current role is like DevOps engineer, and so I have like very good experience in this AWS and DevOps. These days, like people are moving towards the microservices. So I'm currently working on Kubernetes a lot, right? Before that, I have worked on AWS and the Lambda functions a lot, like so. Very random things on which I have worked so far. I think almost 20 plus services I have been using on AWS on regularly basis. And if we talk about DevOps, in DevOps, like I have used almost every tool. So Jenkins, Ansible, Terraform, Ansible Tower, and of course, like one of the prerequisite which is always required is Git. So a very good knowledge on Git, then Packer, and then the shell scripting, the Python scripting, and Kubernetes, Docker, and so many CI and CD, like including Travis, right? So there are like bunch of tools, even like sometime I don't remember the name of the tools, including Selenium and all. So working, have a great knowledge about all these things. And I have seen that, working as a DevOps engineer really required the knowledge of AWS cloud computing. So AWS cloud computing is a cloud platform which is being used by most of the organizations, right, these days. However, like these days, people are shifting to this Azure, but not completely. Some of the workload have been moved to the Azure in some companies, including us, right? So we are also planning to move on, some of the workload on Azure. So that is also a great platform, but not as good as like AWS. But like people don't want to create dependencies in the organization. So that's why like Azure also. And so this is about me, and like with you guys, my colleague Iftikhar will be connecting with you, right? So he also have like 5 years of experience. Iftikhar, would you like to explain about you, and then we will probably start the session.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi, everyone.
So
Can you hear me now?
they are on mute, so you can speak, Iftikhar.
Okay. Give me a moment. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Iftikhar Ahmed. Okay. So I have engineering, 7 years of experience, and last 5 years I'm working as a DevOps engineer. So they have different tools, so together with the different organization. So I'm also using the same that Terraform for the nowadays that many of the organization are going forward to automate their thing to AWS or the DevOps, that moving all the things. Okay, so we are using the different type of tools like scripting, Python, and Terraform, Packer to automate their services. So together we will take the sessions. Okay, so this is brief about me. Okay, so now
Iftikhar, your voice is breaking. Is we are audible to you?
you can start the session.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
So now
So
the session. So this is all about me.
okay, thank you, Iftikhar. So like your voice was a bit breaking for me. I don't like whether the other people have heard you properly, but yes. Guys, we can start now, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Okay, fine. So let me start with a very interesting fact about which you haven't come across. So we are going to start with this, auto scaling group. Even like this is a kind of demo, so you may find that you are not aware about it, and you may find uh, like you may find some kind of problem if you are hearing this thing for the first time, right? So let me explain a bit about this. Let's say that you are working in an organization where like there are like different bunch of applications are running, and some applications are there which is not required during the night time, right? And the primary thing, like the application is not required to run on the night time, is that is to save cost. So most of the companies, even like this at this point of time, if we think, so the pandemic is going on, right? So the corona is going on. So because of this corona, many companies came to a certain point where they have to go and save a lot of cost for them, because applications cannot be destroyed in the organization, but yes, they can be stopped if they are not using. The customer, they are like less customers or less user who are accessing the application. So in that case, we what we can do best is that we have to go and stop the instance during the night time, and we can save some cost. So if we stop the instance for 12 hours in a day, so that means the cost is going to reduce by half for the current month, right? So now the application is running on the EC2 instance, and or we can simply go and stop the EC2 instance and the application will stop, right? But the problem arises, when you have configured the auto scaling group to launch your instances where your application is running. That means as soon as you will stop the instance, what will happen? That the new instance will come up, and your application will start running again. So that means you will not be able to stop the instances which are part of auto scaling group, right? So what can be done in that case? So let me show you this demo. I hope that you guys got the understanding about it. And so let's go and click on the services. And here we have to go and click on this EC2, right? So EC2 is the service where you can go and launch the instance. That means a virtual server, and then you can run your applications, right? So I will go and launch an instance for me, and basically, like most of the time, people go and click on this instances section, and you will see the whole list of instance in your account in Mumbai region. So right now I am using this Mumbai region, and click on this launch instance, right? And I'm going to use Red Hat, and probably Red Hat 7 or CentOS 7, any one of them, or RHEL 7. Okay. So Red Hat 7 and the microservices T2, sorry, T2.micro, so that I can save some costs, and configure instance, and then you have to go and choose whole networking stuff. We will be explaining about these things later on, that what do we mean by this networking and all, and how it is important in the organization, and the other factors like IAM role, which is very, very important. Now let's go and fill something in the user data, because I'm not really interested to configure this thing from the inside. So when this instance will be launching for the first time, so this script is going to execute, and some of the packages will install. So which packages? Let me install the yum install, and then uh, cpd. Okay. And because I'm installing it from the script, and I will not be having option to say yes and no, so I have to go and define -y, right, so that it install automatically. Now whenever the instance launches for the first time, so it says that it basically, it has a user which is sudo user, right? So you will not be, this script will not be executing from a root user. It will be from a sudo user. So you have to go and define sudo. Otherwise, this script will not execute at all. This command will not execute. Now, we also need to start the service. Systemctl is a command which we use in Linux operating system, and start httpd. And sudo systemctl, and then enable httpd. And I'm also going to echo some of this stuff. So this is our demo, and I'm going to redirect this output to a file that is like /var /ww /html/index.html file. So index.html is a file which is basically used by the Apache service by default. So we are saying that this is our demo. That's it. Okay. Now go and click on this add storage. So the amount of the storage will be 10 GB, and I can go and reduce it. I can go and increase it depending upon our use case. Now go and click on this add tag, and we can say that name, and we can say like demo, right? Now go and click on this configure security group. So this is one of the important factor in organization, because like whenever we do we configure the instance, so most of the organizations ask it to be get secured. The reason is very simple, that most of the organizations have to follow some compliances standard like PCI DSS, or like SOC. So these are the compliances which has to be fulfilled by some of the organizations, especially the financial organizations, right? So this is very important part in most of the organizations. So you should not give any entry which is not required. So I will say the name of the security group is demo, and give demo. The port number 22, let it be open as of now, and I'm going to open it from my IP only, and click on this add rule, and now you can select like HTTP, because we have installed a web service from the user data, and I'm going to say that this web service is going to accessible from all. Okay, now click on this review and launch, and you can review the whole stuff which you have defined so far. Now you can go and click on this launch. Okay, so let me go and create a new key pair, and let me say the name of the key pair is demo, and let's download it. So this is the first and last, this is the first and last time you're getting this option to download this key pair. If you delete it, and if you just destroy this key pair, so you will not be able to log into this instance. So you need to make sure that whenever you create a key pair for your organization, so you have to go and keep this key pair very safe with you. Now click on this OK, and it is going to download somewhere. So let me go and download it here, and click on this launch instances. Okay, so it says that the snapshot size is like 10 GB. So whenever this snapshot size is 10 GB or 15 GB, so I have to go and give the the size of the volume. The size of the volume should be equal to size of the snapshot or greater than that. So let's go back and click on this add storage, and here you have to go and define 10 at least or more than 10, because the size of the snapshot, which is right here, is 10 GB, right? Now click on this again, review and launch, and again launch, and you have to use your key pair every time. Don't create the key pair, and now click on this launch instances. So this is how you launch an instance, and so when this instance will be available, so I can go and paste this public IP address in the browser, and I will be able to see a page which says this is our demo, right? So this is how you launch an instance. Now coming back to the previous scenario which I did, that you are working in an organization where you have to go and stop the instance running in the auto scaling group, right? As this is the instance which is running standalone, independent, and you can always go and stop this instance, right? But if you go and stop the instance which is a part of the auto scaling group, so that instance will come up, that instance will get destroyed, and new instance will be get launched for you. In order to avoid that scenario, what we can do, okay, let it be available first of all. So till now, if anybody have any questions to ask from this, so they can ask me.
Snapchat volume will be the 10 GB at every time, like on what basis it will be taking as a 10 GB or 8 GB? I didn't
Yeah.
get that part.
So
That part.
So a snapshot is basically, like when you launch an instance or you have a volume with you, so you try to create a snapshot. That means you try to create a backup, right? And the volume from which you have created a backup, that means a snapshot. If that volume having a size of 10 GB, so your snapshot size will be having the size of 10 GB. Now, when you create a new volume from that snapshot, okay, so you will not be able to reduce the size of the volume, because the size of the snapshot is 10 GB itself. Okay, so these you can increase the size of the volume when you are trying to create a volume from this snapshot, like 10 GB at least, or more than 10 GB, 11, 12, 15, up to 16 GB. Okay, sorry, up to 16 TB. Did you get the answer for your question?
Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. Fine. So this instance is like up and running as of now, and you can see the status check is like two by two checks. And now let's go and refresh this page once again, and it is showing me the content, but not that one which we were expecting. So yeah, this is a Firefox browser. Okay. So you can see, like, it is showing us the content. This is our demo, right? So this is how you configure an instance. Now, if I wanted to stop this instance, I can easily go and stop this instance at any point of time, and I will not be having any kind of trouble, right? So what we can do best is that, and when this instance is a part of the auto scaling group, so then we will be having some trouble. And let me show you what kind of trouble we will be having. So I will be like, like showing this thing and configuring this thing in a speed, because this is not an in-depth class about auto scaling group and instance. So let's go and click on this create and all. And again, I will be choosing an AMI. So I'm going to create a launch configuration, which is always required by the auto scaling group, and we can also go and define the a launch template. So, and I'm going to take like some user data which I already defined here. So not interested in typing, so copying this thing and in ASG, auto scaling group. Okay. So only assign a public IP address to this instance, launch in the default VPC. Okay, that's fine. Go and add a storage, 10 GB again. And we are going to use existing security group, review, and then launch configuration. And key pair will be demo and this. Now you have to go and define the configuration for your auto scaling group. So let's say demo ASG auto scaling group, and it is going to use the launch configuration which we just created, and the number of these the group size of the auto scaling group is like one instance, and your instance can be available in this subnet 1 and subnet 2. Okay, and now we can go and click on this configure scaling and click on this, and we can simply go and click on this review and click on this create auto scaling group, right? Now this auto scaling group will be launching an instance for you depending upon your desired size. So you can see that the desired number of instance for you is 1, and if So one instance is going to launch for you. So as of now, you can see like 0 instance is showing to you. And what we can do is refresh, and now you can see your activities here, activity history, and it says that launching a new instance. So if you go to this EC2 dashboard, so you will see that one instance is getting launched for you and which don't have any name because we haven't configured that. Okay, so yep, so this is successful. Now launching a new instance is successful. And now what I wanted to do, like I wanted to stop this instance. You can see the ID is like 265E, and I can go to this EC2 page and you can verify that instance ID is 265E, right? As soon as I will try to stop this instance, what will happen, like this instance will get terminated and new instance will launch. And what is our motive? Our motive is to reduce the cost by stopping all the instances in your account in the night, right? So now, as I explained you that you will not be able to stop the instances available in the auto scaling group. So what can be the solution for this? And now you will see that it says that it will give a notification to us that the instance got terminated or unhealthy something, and then finally it will be launching a new instance, right? Okay, it has been stopped, right? And so now you can see that after a couple of seconds it is showing us like shutting down. And that is that usually happens whenever we have the instance in auto scaling group. Okay, so now what will happen, like automatically a new instance will come up, and you know and and you will be you might be in an assumption that okay, instance has been stopped, but apparently that has been destroyed, right? So there will be a lot of trouble in the real production environment that the instance got terminated. Now you can see that it has given a message to us terminating EC2 instance, and you can see the timestamp and everything. And finally we got a new message that launching a new instance. Now you will be getting cost for this instance, right? So now the question is like how you can go and stop this instance whenever you don't require it, right? So that part we will be covering when we will be starting the AWS session. And there are like a couple of ways of doing it, that how we can go and stop the instances in the auto scaling group. So, and once this instance will up and running, so you will see that the web page is still available on your EC2 instance. So in real production environment, what all things we have to go and configure in order to launch, in order to make the applications working in the auto scaling group. So those kind of things we will be learning in our classes. Okay, so let's wait for a couple of seconds and you will see that new instance will get launched and our web page will still be available. So now in this EC2 dashboard, you can see that instance is getting launched. And and if I go and copy this IP address and paste it somewhere in the browser, so I should be able to see the page. So it takes approx like it takes approx 2 to 3 minutes depending upon the configuration of your instance. Sometime in real production world, like we configure so many things during the launch time, so in that case it takes around like 5 or 10 minutes also. So if we have that kind of scenario, so we also follow some kind of other processes which basically reduces our time to get access to any to get access to the applications running on EC2 instances. So that also we will be learning in this class, that what kind of things can be done in order to achieve a better or efficient application running on our EC2 instances. So the web page is available. If I go and refresh this page, so you will see that this is our demo in auto scaling group, right? So ASG. Okay, so as I said, like I will be explaining you other things also, and basically Iftikhar will be explaining all these stuff, uh, that how these things works in AWS. The best thing of joining us is that we have like multiple people who have real-time experience in AWS and different cloud platform and DevOps. So if you find any kind of difficulties with one trainer and you wanted to know that topic from the other trainer also, so we have that kind of flexibility, right? And the other thing is, like, apart from this thing, we will be having a weekly kind of assignment session on which you guys have to go and join and perform the activities during the assignment session, right? So that will be once in a week, and that is on Sunday, and your classes will be on weekdays. That will be from 7 o'clock to approximately 9 o'clock. So that will be your timing on weekdays, as I said, like and by the end of this course, you will be having a project that that we will do all together. So that is also we are going to do. So a project, a real-time based project, that how the applications, and if you have to go and deploy the application for a production of in the production environment, so what all things you have to go and measure, right? So what all process you have to go and follow. So that we will be learning by the end of this course. And once this course finishes, so after that we will be giving you a project to complete, and you have to go and write the whole project, that how you can go and deploy into the AWS, and then finally you can go and submit those projects to us, right? We will go and verify, and we'll show you that, okay, like what is the result and all. Okay, so that is how we are planning. And if you guys have any questions, so you can ask me. Now I will be terminating all these instances and auto scaling group.
And can you tell us, like, what are the services that will be covered in your training session, and yeah, AWS and DevOps, or what is the primary?
Yeah, so the primary thing is like the primary thing will be this AWS, right? So we will be covering the most of the things related to AWS, and some of the things related to DevOps, like how we go and run the CI and CD in AWS. That is what we are going to cover. We are also planning for that, and we are also planning for this Terraform, right? So how you can go and use the Terraform in your production environment. So that is also like how you can go and because in most of the companies, people have already started to use Terraform, or some of the companies have started to use CloudFormation. But CloudFormation has a limitation of that it can be only used in this AWS. It cannot be used in other cloud platforms. So getting a resource in the companies, that it really become difficult when it comes to multiple basically configuration or orchestration tool. Okay, so Terraform is one of the most popular choice for most of the companies when it comes to like writing the configuration for their cloud orchestration. Okay, so that is what we will be covering. And of course, like the Git, because we are going to save all the code and everything on Git all together. So yes, and the Git will be the part of the course, even when you will be learning this AWS, right? Like saving this script and all will be on Git. Okay, so
And we are
this
also
will
very
be,
new to
yes.
we are also very new to Linux, so we don't have basic knowledge on Linux as well.
Yeah, so as soon as like we will be running any command and we will be writing any script, so we will guide you that how this command is working, what is the meaning of this command, and why we are doing it, right? As I explained you at this point of time, So when we will be having real sessions, so that will be in more depth, and you can always ask the question that, what do we mean by yum, what do we mean by sudo and all, right? And if you guys are completely unaware about the Linux, so we can have a session on Linux also, that this is how the Linux works, right? So that we can go in and incorporate in our course content. Yep. Did you got the answer for your question?
Yeah. So this training will mostly cover all the AWS services. And what about the DevOps tools?
Yeah, as I said, DevOps tools like Terraform and Jenkins. So these are like most popular tools these days, which we are using, and also like one of the tool known as Docker, right? So that we will be covering. And the fourth thing is like Git. So four things from DevOps: Git and Jenkins and Docker and Terraform, right? So these things we will be covering. And you can also say that, we will be also taking a session of Lambda. So Lambda function is also like, count as a DevOps tools, because we do a lot of automations by using Lambda functions in AWS environment. So that also we can count it. So are you guys aware about the Python, and like Python is new to all of you?
No, I don't have any knowledge on Python. Even I'm expecting like Python script and shell scripting. Can I get it from this class?
Okay. So some of the basic things will be there, that how you can go and manage some things, by using this Lambda functions, which essentially require the knowledge of Python. So that we can provide you during this session, that how this Python works and what all things you have to go and write, and if some new thoughts come into your mind, so where you can go and search for the resources, and how you can go and start writing the script using Python, right? So that you can manage the resources in a by using a service called, AWS Lambda function. So basically, I don't believe that Python is something which gives you everything. So there are like a bunch of things we can go and do by using Python scripting, right? I believe that if you have a good understanding about some specific task, which you can go and perform by using uh, which you can go and perform by using like Python and all, so you will be able to touch other libraries also, right? So we will be learning a bit about this Boto 3 library. Boto 3 library is one of the library by using which you can go and manage the resources in AWS, right? So when it comes to Boto 3, so basically it is by using Python only, right? In order to understand Boto 3, what kind of knowledge is required in Python, that we will be transferring you, and how we can go and use the Boto 3 library, that we will be giving you that. Okay, so that is one aspect of Python basically, right? So that is what I believe, that if you have understanding about one portion of the Python, so you will be able to do all other things using Python, right? Did you got the answer for your question?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other question which you guys have so far? Okay, probably I haven't given the answer, for one question. So that how many services we will be covering as a part of this AWS. So I have already shared, like couple of screenshots with Venkat. So I think if you guys haven't received those screenshots, so Venkat will be providing those as screenshots to you, that how many services we are covering. And as I told you, like so now we have like 5 or 6 tools basically from DevOps, right? That we will be covering in this course session. Okay. Any other doubt which you guys have?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So fine. And I think we haven't, I didn't got the chance to talk with Satish, and